You're listening to KOUG Radio. Listen live online at KOUGradio.org.
This broadcast contains explicit content. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my second favorite album. My name is Kylie Sickles. I'm very happy to join you today. I apologize for being just a touch late, but that's all right. Today, we are going to be talking about the debut album of Oh Wonder. It's self-titled too, so it's just called Oh Wonder, but it is amazing. It's gorgeous. Yeah, so the full album was released in 2015, but the tracks started being released in September 2014, and all of the tracks were released one by one at the start of each month. So super fun. I didn't discover this album until it was fully out, and I discovered it right before, probably around 2016, 2017. I don't remember when their second album came out, but I discovered it right before their second album came out. So without further ado, let's jump into the first track called Livewire. Gorgeous, gorgeous song. Livewire really, I think it really just exemplifies so many of the good things about this album. It's so chill, so beautiful. The synths are gorgeous. And yeah, so this song is just basically about, or at least what I think it's about, like having someone who, when things get really mundane and, you know, you're just kind of going day to day, someone who makes it exciting again, someone who you're excited to spend time with and who, you know, bring some joy back to them. You know, it's not the only source of energy in your life, but it's someone who kind of jolts you awake and goes, oh, okay, we can be excited now. Like we can, here's something to look forward to. Here's something to, you know, kind of break up the monotony. So I really do love this album because it's so chill. It feels so good to listen to on a rainy day. I'm not very good with like straight up sad music. So stuff like this album where it might have some undertones and stuff like that of sadness, especially some of the later songs, but they're still pretty upbeat and very gorgeous, beautiful, is something that I really appreciate on a rainy day. And today's kind of foggy outside, so classic Washington Day, so this feels like a good song to be listening to today. So without further ado, let's jump into the next song, which is going to be if I can pull it up, Body Gold. There was Body Gold, kind of immediately exemplifying what I was talking about how this album is perfect for a rainy day with the literal rain sounds at the beginning. But yeah, so Body Gold is just being with someone who's uplifting you and kind of that bated breath you feel when you really want to get into a relationship but you haven't found someone yet. You know, it talked about before, I think it was Before I Was Found is the lyric specifically. Let me look. Yeah, before I was found, I didn't want to breathe out. So like waiting with bated breath for finding someone to be with. And now that you found someone, you know, having someone that makes your heart beat loud, that makes you feel livid again. Not livid. Livid is mad. But electric again, you know, makes you feel golden. Just like soft Sunday mornings, you know, glowing sunshine coming through the windows, you know. So yeah, and I'll say this album is going to be a little bit different than other albums because there's not a whole ton I have to say about each song. More of just like an emotion and appreciating the vibe, and going through and just, you know, listening to them on a rainy day. So yeah, with that, we will jump into the next song, Technicolour Beat. This song to me just feels like a breath of fresh air. You know, as someone who has a lot of anxiety, oh, sorry, I just peeked there. Oops. As someone who has a lot of anxiety, this song is very calming to me, and I don't know, it's very soothing to hear someone singing about like, just lay down your slow, come settle down, you know, just taking a deep breath and just talking about someone that you feel like you can just breathe next to, and someone that maybe helps those voices quiet and those anxieties, get a little bit quieter in your brain. And I think that this first album explores a direct relationship between two people, right? And like, I could theorize as much as I want about the actual relationship between the two people, but they actually, so for context, Oh Wonder, the band, is a London-based band of only two people. It's Anthony West and Josephine Vander Gooch. So I might be mispronouncing her last name, but at the time of this album, they were very adamant. They were like, we're not a couple. We're not a couple. And they later did, announce that, oh yeah, we are a couple, actually. And the reason why they were so adamant that they were just friends at first is, even though they were a couple, they didn't want their relationship to take center stage in these songs. They wanted the songs to just be very applicable to everyone, and for people to not read too much into, oh, well, she said this about you in this song, So, but yeah, I think that it's just very just calming and soothing to hear the song. And this whole album is something that I listen to when I get really anxious. There have been multiple times where I will sit in like a tub, like in just a super hot bath with all the lights out, and I'll just sit there with this album playing and hearing it like echo off the linoleum, and it is one of the most calming things on this earth. I adore this album so much. And they actually, so since I got into it kind of late, I never got the vinyl for it because I didn't have a vinyl player when I was getting into Oh Wonder. So, but now I do have a vinyl player, and this has been the album that I'm like, I need it so bad. But it's kind of expensive on resale sites because it hasn't been printed in a long time. But I saw rumors that they might be reprinting it for the Record Store Day that's happening in April. So very excited. Fingers crossed that that's true. And if it is, I will fight someone for this album. So anyways, with that, we are going to jump into track 4, Drive. Was Drive by Oh Wonder. I believe that that's one of their singles off of this album, actually. I adore those violins at the end. I think that they're so just, I don't know. I think that they work really, really well with this song, and still kind of bring like a calming vibe, but still very, I don't know, calming's not the word for it. It's like exciting, but in a very positive way, like a very like golden exciting, if that makes sense. But yeah, so I love this song because it's just talking about, well, this song is like leaving someone because you just don't work together, right? And someone that you feel really comfortable with, it talks about same old songs with the same old rhymes, something that you're really comfortable with, like maybe a routine, but looking and realizing that it's too much work to be in this relationship with someone. Every relationship takes work, but there's a point where it's like you might be better off either alone or with someone else that you just work with a lot better, that you vibe with a lot better, so that you don't need to constantly be vigilant, working on yourself, working on the other person, getting into arguments, such and such, because there's someone out there that might fit you better. And all I do is get burned, talking about how when you're putting this much effort into a relationship and when it's really just not working, like it just leaves you feeling hurt and just feeling a lot of pain out of putting all of this energy into a relationship that, maybe the other person isn't putting in, and it's just resulting in the ruin of the relationship, even though you've done so much for it. So, but yeah, with that, I will jump into, track 5, Lose It. I love this song so much. Alrighty, that was Lose It by Oh Wonder, which is my absolute favorite song by Oh Wonder, even with all of their albums they've come out since then. This is my favorite song. It's also how I discovered the album. It was way back in probably 2016 or something like that. I was on Tumblr and someone had edited part of Lose It over like some pretty waves, right? And it just went pretty, I don't think it went fully viral, but it was pretty popular on Tumblr. And I remember seeing it and just falling in love with this song. And I, at one point in my life, wanted to teach myself how to play piano and didn't realize just how difficult of a task that would be. And so this was the first song I learned because I could kind of read sheet music and I could like pluck out keys because I had been in choir. So, but I wasn't literate enough to fully play freehand off of it. So I learned this song kind of. I can't play with both hands together. I can play one hand at a time. But yeah, so I adore this song. It's so calming. I think it's so sweet the way that it talks about falling in love and just having this nice moment, this nice, night with someone that, you're really vibing with. And Your Name I'll Never Know As We Get Down in the World Below, talking about just going out and, dancing with someone. And yeah, I just think it's gorgeous. So there's not too much I can add to that other than it's my favorite. So with that though, we will move into track 6, Landslide. And that was Landslide by A Wonder. So Landslide is just talking about not necessarily a romantic relationship, but a relationship of some kind where, someone's going to be there for you. Someone's going to stick it out for you. And when you're just feeling incredibly down, one of the lines is, when you threw stones at the starlight, you're just angry, you're frustrated, you're throwing things into the sky. Yeah. And in the rain, I'll give you sunshine, so no matter what happens, no matter what you go through, when you have your landslides that, these giant things that you can't control that just take over your life and, can sometimes seemingly ruin your life, I'll be there for you. I'll be here to support you. So yeah. Next up we have White Blood. Awesome. Another very, very chill, wonderful song. Although this one is maybe a little bit more sad. It kind of seems like it's maybe after a bad thing happened in the relationship, or maybe a relationship's ended where you're sitting there and not, fully processing how you're going to make it without this person. And, talking about white blood cells, they're the ones that kind of fend off illnesses and kind of protect. So someone who's going, you told me you'd protect me. How am I supposed to make it kind of without you? So very chill, a little bit more of a somber song, but still very lovely and very calming to me. So yeah. Next up, however, we will be getting into track 8, Without You. Ugh, Without You. I am so obsessed with the song. I actually, in high school, when I was in theater, I auditioned for, I think it was a musical with this song, which is the epitome of high school theater. But I mean, this song is about something, kind of sad, but it's so beautiful and floaty in the way that it's sung and just all of its production and stuff. And I mean, of course, the song itself is feeling lost without someone, whether that be a romantic partner or a friend or something, just, not really knowing what to do without this person. And it does kind of point to, at one point in the song, that it might be an ended romantic relationship of, where were you when I was trying to lift up, carry the love, right? So feeling once again that you're putting in more effort than the other person and, not understanding why something's not working when you're putting in so much effort. But the reality is that it's an uneven relationship, but then still lamenting how hard it is to live without someone that you've been with, for maybe a long time, or you've kind of built your life around. So yeah, I think this album does a really good job of tackling kind of, sad topics, but making them very floaty and calming songs. And I really appreciate that. So next up we have track 9, The Rain. Another sad song that maybe still feels very calming and perhaps a little upbeat. Unsure what that random noise was. That was weird. Oh gosh. Oh no, there's an ad. Oh gosh. Sorry, I was looking at the lyrics and an ad popped up. So if you heard that, no, you didn't. But that was so unfortunate. Yes, so the rain in this song being, because it talks about, ever since the rain in the song, I think, is a relationship that ended. So the rain being the moment that the relationship ended, and, just finding yourself feeling lost after that of like, I've given myself entirely to this person and it didn't work out. So where do I go from here? Where do I, recover? And, talking about how at night, maybe if you've, slept with this person for a very long time after they're gone, just sitting there and being like, I feel like I can still feel you there. Don't tell me that I'm lying. Don't tell me that I'm dreaming, because I want to just believe that you're still there, because it's so hard to move on. But once again, a very, very good example of Oh Wonder being able to make a very calming and beautiful song out of something very sad. But next up, we will be jumping into track 10, Dazzle. Awesome. So that was Dazzle. A little bit of a turn from Oh Wonder's kind of, other themes throughout this album. A lot of it talks about relationships and relationship issues. But this one's just talking about, materialism and stuff. So talking about how, wanting to live in the moment and how focusing on materialistic things like, getting money or getting gold, as it's talked about in here, is always going to make you lose. That's always going to just lead to more sadness when you're not living for real life, but you're living for, just getting richer, and talking about how there's a human in your heart of hearts, right? And in the mirror, you're a work of art, but this is real life. So talking about how, you are still a human being, even if you look in the mirror and you're gorgeous, you look like a god or a goddess, and you're super rich and wealthy and you look amazing in the mirror, but then on the inside, you're still a human being and still, grappling with very human things. So wanting to focus on that instead of materialism and stuff, and how that can bring you more joy to focus inward, focus on yourself, focus on people around you and the relationships you build instead of money. But yes, so next up, we will get into track 11, All We Do. Another song that really utilizes a lot of nature sounds and stuff to build its ambiance and to kind of do its, magic. Just talking about kind of the loops we find ourselves, falling into, of like playing it safe, living inside of a cage, like trying to find something new, but, just falling into a routine. And I think also in the chorus when it says, I've been upside down, I don't want to be the right way round, can't find paradise on the ground, is like wanting something different, wanting something more, knowing that something more lays out there, and just, striving for that. So very, very chill, very lovely. I am unfortunately have to leave a little bit early today. However, I still want to finish out the rest of this album. So while I will no longer be interjecting between the songs, I will leave you with the last couple songs: Midnight Moon, Shark, Heart Hope, and Plans, beginning with Midnight Moon. Thank you so much for joining me for my second favorite album. My name is Kylie Sickles, and have a great afternoon, or morning, I suppose, or time, whenever you're listening to this. Have a great rest of your day.